Hello friends, I figured I would share with you a little mini haul of all of the creative things that I have been leaning onto recently. I have been exploring quite a bit. I feel like every single weekend I have been out and about and trying to just explore in general, but also find little bits and pieces that spark a little bit of joy in me and also spark some creativity within me. As you all know, I have been on a bit of a creative journey. I haven't talked about it much in the past month or so, but I'm still very much in that, invested in that, and I am still doing the artist's way. So these experiences are sort of my way of nurturing that creative side of me, and picking up the little trinkets are also part of that as well. So I wanted to share what I have found recently. I'll try to tell you exactly where I found these things and what they are, but I'm looking off to the side because essentially the spread is just off to the side, and I have it categorized by different types of things. So what I will do is start with prints, art prints. So the first set of art prints that I have are actually from a museum. It's from the Barnes Foundation in Philadelphia. I did a whole creative retreat vlog on that if you're interested in seeing a bit more footage from there. But essentially I was so overwhelmed in a good way of all of the art that was in the Barnes Foundation. There was so many pieces. I knew that by the end of the experience I wanted to take something home with me, and so I felt like I would keep things basic and just pick up a handful of prints because the art pieces really spoke to me. So these are the prints. This is the first one. By the way, I think they're also like postcards, but I'm going to treat them as prints. I'll probably frame these. This one is so beautiful and vibrant. There's like a woman hiding out there, which I love. I do love still lifes, so I knew I had to get one of these. I really want to get into painting more like fruit, so this was very inspiring for me. Another really vibrant piece from the same artist that I just showed with the woman hiding. Loved animals and nature. I also really want to do more nature, naturalism type of pieces, so this was inspiring for me as well. This one was very fun. It's kind of like pointillism, I think, or just very tiny, plentiful of strokes. So I thought this was really cool, and once again, it's more on the naturalism side, so love that. And then the last one is probably one that's very familiar from Van Gogh, but it is like a still life, so I definitely wanted to have one of those in my collection. And those are the prints. Like I said, I want to frame these or maybe just like stick them up on my wall in the office. Not too sure yet, but I was just very in awe of all of these pieces, plus many more when I was there. So I wanted to just bring some of that home with me. And then the next selection of prints, I actually found this artist on TikTok, and I will link the artist down below because I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. But I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw these gorgeous pieces of animals that were cute, quirky, and fun. And I don't know, I just loved it so much. It was super whimsical, and I spotted it just as my bunny passed away, so I figured it would be a perfect memento. And so this first print that I ordered from the artist is sort of like a birthday party in the middle of the woods. I love how chunky and silly the birthday cat is looking. I'm pretty sure it's the cat's birthday. I don't know why I think it's the cat's birthday, actually. The cake is not in front of the cat, but I don't know. I just think it's so funny and cute, and the colors are super vibrant. And yeah, they're just having a little birthday party. And then again, what I was talking about when it comes to the memento with my bunny, this was the piece that really stood out to me from the artist. So once again, we're in the woods. It's very whimsical and fun, and there are just a bunch of bunnies playing around a fire, and I thought it was super witchy, super cute, and again, it just reminds me of my bunny, so I definitely wanted to get this piece as well. These two pieces I plan on framing for sure. They're tiny, they're like 5 by 5, so I do need to find frames to fit them, but 100% am framing these. These are so cute and quirky. Okay, moving on. That was the first category. The next category is home stuff. So I know that might sound strange when it comes to, you know, creative things, but I do think that I am in a era in my life where I want to embrace more creative, quirky, and colorful things when it comes to home decor. And I feel like I have much more creativity in the kitchen when it comes to that. So I have two kitchen pieces. The first one, pricey piece, but 100% worth it, and I do want to switch over all of my cutlery over time to this, but it's like a butter knife or like a spreader, and it's from the brand Sabre Paris. If you've never heard of that brand, it's a pricey, fancy brand. But what I love so much about this is the hardware down here. I just love this vintage vibe. And I love that it is tortoise. If you couldn't tell, I'm a big fan of the tortoise design. I think it's super unique, it's super interesting, and I don't think I have ever seen anybody have cutlery with this design. So I was very intrigued by it, long story short. So this was my first piece, my first Sabre piece, and I plan on switching out all of my cutlery, which is very old, dingy, like matte black cutlery that I have right now, into all of this whole design. Absolutely love it. Makes me so happy. It's so fancy that I'm like scared to use it, but I promise I will use it. And then the next piece is a kitchen item. Mostly it's a kitchen item, but I feel like it's versatile, but it's mostly a kitchen item because I found it at Big Night in Manhattan, and Big Night is known for like dinner parties stuff, if that makes sense. So I'm saying that it's a kitchen thing, but you can use it for whatever you want. Just dropped a pen. And essentially, as you saw, I'm using it to hold pens. I'm also using it to put my rings in here. So like if I'm washing dishes, I just put my rings in here as well. It's essentially just a tray, but it's like got this green tint to it. And obviously it's a fish. And I am so obsessed with fish right now, like drawing fish, painting fish, and I'm just having a great time with that. So I knew I wanted this piece. I kept coming back to it when we were browsing the store, and I'm like, I need this. I need this. I need to find a way to, you know, implement this into the house. And so I feel like this is actually perfect because my pens are usually scattered all over the place, as well as my rings. So it's a nice little dish to have in the kitchen. I have it like in our little centerpiece here in the dining room area. Okay, so those are two categories. The next category are books. Let me just move some things around. And I'm not going to talk too deeply into these books because I have not finished nor fully read all of them, but I do have a haul. And this haul comes from a culmination of receiving ARCs, so thank you to the publishers for sending me ARCs, as well as supporting my local bookstores during Indie Bookstore Day. So the first one from Indie Bookstore Day is Eileen. I heard this one is like a fever dream. Love that. It also says that it's about to be a major motion picture. And I don't know, I've heard it's bizarre and I really want to get into Otessa. That's the author. So got one of those to be determined. This one I got from the Strand, I believe. It's Lemon. I believe it's a translated horror or crime thriller novel, and it's very small and short. You know I like that, so I was very intrigued by that. The next one is the book that I'm currently reading. This one is Night Bitch. It's also been described as a fever dream type of book, but also feminine rage. So it's been interesting. I think I'm a little over 50% finished, so you'll probably hear about this soon. This one was also from Indie Bookstore Day. And then these two are ARCs that I received from the publisher. The first one is Swiped by L.M. Chilton. I have a feeling that that's a pseudonym, which is really cute. By the way, thank you Gallery Books for the ARC of this. It just looks like a summery type of thriller, like a light thriller, which I think is exactly what I need heading into the warmer seasons. The quote at the top says, "As if Bridget Jones found herself in a Scream film." You don't need to say anything else. If you put a reference to Scream on a book, I'm going to pick it up. So very, very excited to read this over the summer. Maybe it'll be like a beach read. Haven't been to the beach in a long time, but suddenly I want to go. And then the next ARC that I received from Gallery, or from Scout Press, which is also part of Gallery, is the latest Ruth Ware book. And if you know anything about me, Ruth Ware is a hit or miss author for me, but I will always give her a chance. I feel like I went into a huge reading rut many years ago, and she was part of why I got back into reading as an adult outside of like the college setting. So I will always give her a try. And this latest book, once again, looks like the perfect summer thriller. Her thrillers are usually on the lighter side, very easy to get through. So another one that I will be taking to the beach. Very excited. It looks pretty chunky, but excited. And that is the mini book haul. The next category are some art supplies. So just a bunch of random trinkets here. This one is from Golden. It's like a flow acrylic kind of medium. It thins and extends acrylic paints. So I think my main issue that I have with acrylic at this moment is that it is very thick and gloppy, and I don't really know how to use acrylics that well, but I have been seeing a lot of people put a medium into their acrylic paints to thin it out and make it a lot easier to use. And since I have a lot more experience with thinner paints like watercolors and stuff like that, I feel like this would be helpful. So I found this in an art store in Philadelphia in Fishtown. And I also found this in Fishtown. I found this at kind of like I would say it's a stationery store, but it also had other things there. And it's just a clamp. And I anticipate using this clamp whenever I'm painting in a book and the book has like a fold. And I can't really fold it down completely flat without, messing up my groove. So I got this, finally. I feel like I should have had this one for a long time. And I got it in a mint green because I thought it was kind of inspiring. I got these sticky notes. Another thing that I found in Fishtown in a place called Bodie or Body. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but it's kind of like a home goods stationery type of store that I spotted there. And they're just sticky notes, but it has a little toast with an egg on it, and I just thought that was the cutest thing. We all know that I love food, doodles, and illustrations. And then some more technical stuff. I also found this at Bodie Body, and it's a Blackwing pencil. I've never had a Blackwing pencil, but I've heard amazing things about it. I've also heard that the eraser is like extendable. You can like make it go all the way down, and then you can replace it when needed. And there's a quote on it that says, "One thing I can tell you is that you've got to be free." So I thought it was the perfect first Blackwing pencil to invest in, and I'm very excited to start using it and see what the hype is about Blackwing. And then I wanted to get an acrylic paintbrush that was small and travel size. I have one very similar to this that is watercolor, but I wanted one for acrylics because I also use acrylics. So this was the smallest one that I can find in an art store in Fishtown, and as you can see from the tip, it's kind of like full bodied, so like you can fill it up with a lot of paint, but it does have a bit of a precise tip, which I am learning is my favorite kind of brush. So there's that. And then the last category are just like sketchbooks, books, things like that. So this first one, I think I found this, I can't remember where I found this. It might have been McNally Jackson in Soho, but it is a sketchbook. And what I love about, yes, it was McNally Jackson. But what I love the most about it is, one, the design on the front is really cute and fun. I love a cover that is fun and not just, plain. Sometimes I do like something plain, which you'll see in a second, but sometimes you want something fun and quirky to pull out, and so this sketchbook is that. And the paper is recycled cotton. That is a huge plus for me because that absorbs paint really well, especially watercolors. I don't know much about acrylic, but I'm gonna assume that it's gonna do well on that as well. So this is going to be a really special sketchbook for me to fill in because I'll actually be able to paint in it rather than using standard things like pens and pencils and markers. The next thing is from Muji. So I just went from something really quirky and, like design forward to something extremely minimal and simple. And this was done on purpose because I wanted to have a completely blank, plain, thin, light notebook or sketchbook so that whenever I'm traveling and I want something lightweight to throw into my bag and sketch really quickly and easily, I have an option. I do also have a black one that I've shown in another video. I'm pretty sure it was the creative vlog video. But specifically, I got a second one because variation, I knew that I would use both of them anyway, and also when I bought this, we were heading to a trip again to Philadelphia, and I wanted to make sure that I had 2 sketchbook options in case Ian wanted to sketch as well. So that's why I have another one. And then this last one, as you can see, I did not open it yet. I'm kind of scared and intimidated by new products that are so beautiful, so I end up taking a while to open them, but I got this one gifted by Dingbats, and thank you so much, Dingbats, for sending this to me. I cannot wait to try this one, but this is probably going to be my go-to sketchbook for things that are not super simplified, like something like this where I just want to throw it into my bag and quickly jot something down. This one will probably have a little bit more refined sketches in here, but still sketches, and so that's why I ended up going with this size. This size is the plain A6 paper size, and it's got like coated cream paper. It's good for, you know, sketching and stuff like that, and as you can see, it's got a little bear on the front. It's from their wildlife collection, and it's got vegan leather, so it's a little bit more fancy in comparison to something like this, and so I want to put something a little bit more special in this as opposed to simple sketches, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm so excited. It has a little pen holder. This is going to be, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Anyway, so that is my entire haul. Quite a few of things, but I have been picking them up over the past, I would say, 2 months, and I just haven't been sharing them in one solidified space this entire time, so I figured this video would be helpful to some people who are looking for some inspiration, for some product ideas, for some item ideas to, I don't know, nurture their creative side. I have been learning a lot about nurturing and honing in on that area in my life, because I feel like we tend to look at creativity as something that's just innate, and in reality we should be nurturing it, we should be fueling it, and we can fuel it in ways such as actually practicing our creativity or in experiences or anything in between. So yeah, I hope this was inspiring or interesting. I hope you enjoyed my little ramblings, but thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit, and I will talk to you in next week's video.